that when everything can be done with a tap or a touch, then what is the need to retain or register? But our brains have been wired from the primitive times that we need to use our brains according to not the error, but according to the need. The world is evolving very fast, moving at a very fast pace, and technology, research, inventions, discovery, everything is moving at such an accelerated pace that at times we wonder that, just within a span of 1 or 2 years, things seem to change. But there's certain things that have been on or have been a very important part of our lives, which we are trying to, maybe not trying to remove it, but we're trying to substitute it with something else. Now, there's certain things that you can substitute if a thing is better. No doubt this system is also better, but we still cannot forget that there are certain things that cannot be made obsolete or we cannot manage without them. Here today I'm talking about is reading and writing. As artificial intelligence is picking up at a very rapid pace and everybody seems to be talking about it and everybody's very excited that there's going to be a lot of changes in the world. But there are some changes in the world that we do not like also. And we don't have a control also on. For example, our ecosystem. That's a change none of us liked. Or none of us are happy. We want to settle that in any way possible. But we are not able to reverse it. In the same fashion, there are reading and writing. It's my opinion. Okay? I know I'm not wrong here because I know the repercussions of it already. I already know that because of the computer coming into existence and in so much of use that everything is being done on a computer, what is the level of the children's reading and writing today? So that is why I thought I'll bring up this topic. Some could find it baseless. Some believe that jitni technology advance ho rahi hai, utna it's better for everybody. But we are not thinking that we have gone through a process that was important, a process without which we could not exist, and we are known for that process for being learned or being illiterate or maybe in the middle, wherever. Like some people are not educated. But haven't you seen that when people are not educated, when they haven't learned how to study or learned how to read and write, they are facing so many problems for survival. And there are so many obstacles in their life for moving ahead because they do not know how to read and write. And here we are planning to, in a way, remove that system because eventually that is the future. That is going to be the future. How can we manage? How will the children manage if they do not learn how to use their brains? What do you think the children's intellect will be if a child does not know how to register or retain what he has learned to read and write? We are okay because we've learned it all. We've learned how to read, write. We've been through that era where we've seen so many changes. But the future generation, if they are going to go through a schooling process or a learning process where they are not going to learn how to read and write, maybe there could be a new language like coding that we have in computers. But do you realize that reading and writing, in a way, is making your brain exercise? God has given us an intellect or intelligence and common sense, everything mixed together, and a retaining power to register in our brains whatever we read and write. And whatever we may have studied in our younger years or in our formative years in school, we still remember them, whether we may not remember the full thing of it, but yes, we connect with it and we know that we know about it. But if a child does not know how to read or write and is taught a new language, which is called coding, or maybe something new by the time within the next 5-10 years, what is that child going to do and how is that child going to fit in? Reading and writing is already taken as a burden by children, in spite of it not being removed as yet. Haven't you noticed that when there was no mobile system, we used to remember at least 100, 200 numbers of anybody, telephone numbers I'm talking about, of anybody, and we didn't need to write them anywhere. We would just register them and dial that number. In today's time, there are so many people who do not even remember their own number. So when they have to give their number to somebody, they have to ask others or their spouse or their children, what is the number? Why? Because now we are so dependent on technology and on the computer system that when everything can be done with a tap or a touch, then what is the need to retain or register? But our brains have been wired from the primitive times that we need to use our brains according to not the error, but according to the need. And this need of reading and writing should not finish. Because a time will come when this will not be taught in schools. The people who know how to read and write, in spite of having artificial intelligence around them, may be very much in demand. Because they will be the ones who will be able to decode the simple writing or language that we speak, which maybe earlier they also couldn't handle. Some things are important and should not be removed. And seeing the new concept of education, anyway the children are deteriorating. And on top of that, if you're going to remove your child from writing and reading, you are taking away half the brain of the child. I'm just talking because I'm an educationist too. And since the past 33 years, I've been in the education system. And I have seen the changes over the years of how children used to study earlier and how they do it now. They prefer to type on a computer rather than write. And writing always makes your memory better. Because when you are writing, you are using all your senses and you are using your brain's portion which registers and retains content. So, just a suggestion to parents of today, or the future parents or generations that are going to come, that whether the system finishes in schools, whether you have to engage tutors for your children at home, but do not let your children be deprived of reading and writing, because then the loss will not be able to be reversed. Nothing could change it then. And then one more thing. Anyway, in today's time, children don't like to write. They prefer doing computer writing, typing. So abhi they are not ready to do it. So once when AI comes into full form and is into full existence all over the world, then you tell me that how are the children, and why will the children write and read when they will have easier options? We should not create such easy options for children that a time comes that they are not willing to do anything on their own. Because if AI is going to come, it is going to come and replace our brains too, and our working capability, and everybody will start leading a sedentary lifestyle. So of course we can't stop that. It has already come. It's spreading in most of the countries. But from our side, we can make our children, from childhood, from the age when we make our children learn how to read and write, at least read and write that much that they are always aware of what reading and writing is or was. It's just a suggestion. Some may agree, some may not. But I think that it'll be a very big setback for humanity. And we all have suffered a lot of calamities and problems that have come into this world because of technology and advancement. Because everything has a repercussion. So give your children the habit of reading a lot of books. In fact, I think that whenever you need to gift a child anything, from now on only, start giving your child or anybody's child a book to read as per the child's age group, rather than give them toys and cartoons and figures, which are all fiction, because then your child is not living in reality. And this is the most important, basic thing that we all require for survival. So it's just a suggestion. I hope I shall be understood. And if anybody doesn't agree with me, see, everybody has their own will and way of functioning. You don't need to have to listen to me or pay attention to what I'm saying. But yes, some people may become aware that yes, this is going to be a problem later. So that is why I thought I'll voice it. Thanks for listening. I'll be happy if some people register what I've said. Thank you.